In the vast Serengeti National Park, where endless expanses are bathed in sunlight and a light breeze rustles the tall grass, a swift cheetah raced across the savanna. Its supple body stretched out as it leaped, the pads of its paws touching the ground softly, leaving barely visible marks on the dry soil. Ahead of it galloped a nimble baboon, skilled at climbing trees quickly and escaping to safety at height. Tension hung in the air as the two animals, each pursuing their own goal, rushed forward through the golden waves of grass. The cheetah, driven by the thrill of the hunt, relentlessly closed the distance. The baboon, sensing its pursuer's breath, veered sharply towards the nearest acacia tree, and in a matter of seconds leapt onto its sturdy trunk. With incredible agility, it climbed higher and higher, clinging to the rough bark with its long fingers, escaping from the enemy that had almost caught up with it on the ground. The predator did not want to give up. With one powerful leap, it jumped onto the lower branch and began to climb after him, its claws scratching the dark bark and its tail balancing to help it keep its equilibrium. But when the baboon seized the moment, jumped onto a neighboring branch, and deftly disappeared into the grass, the cheetah realized he was trapped. He had climbed too high and now looked down nervously. The branches swayed beneath its paws, the sun's rays pierced through the sparse leaves, and the distant earth stretched out below. Sitting on a shaky acacia branch, the cheetah began to make restless, plaintive sounds, as if calling for help. Its ears were flattened, its eyes wide open, its claws clinging tightly to the bark so as not to fall. Its spotted coat glistened in the sunlight, and a light breeze rustled the sparse leaves of the tree, making its position even more precarious. An SUV with bright wildlife service stripes was driving slowly along a nearby country road. Daniel, a rescuer in an orange vest, was carefully scanning the surroundings through the open window when he heard alarming sounds. He squinted, looking towards the tree, and noticed a cheetah stuck high on a branch, desperately trying to hold on. Daniel quickly stopped the car, got out, and headed toward the acacia tree. His boots made soft footsteps on the dry grass, and a focused expression appeared on his face. As he approached, he raised his hands, trying to calm the frightened predator with a soft voice, letting it know that he had come to help, not to harm. The cheetah looked down warily. Its breathing quickened, but there was already hope in its eyes. Daniel cautiously approached the acacia tree, where the cheetah had caught hold of a branch with its front paws. He slowly stretched out his arms, trying not to scare the animal, and attempted to catch it with his hands. The cheetah tensed, hanging from the branch, its body stretched downward, its eyes alertly following the man's every movement. A light breeze rustled the acacia leaves, and the golden grasses of the savanna swayed gently around them, creating a tense but calm atmosphere. The animal held on as if on a horizontal bar, its hind paws barely touching the branch, its claws digging into the bark. Daniel concentrated, keeping his hands under the cheetah to support its body, trying not to cause any stress. Every movement was precise and careful, because the slightest jerk could cause it to fall. The warm, midday sun reflected off the cheetah's spotted coat, emphasizing its tense position. Finally, he was able to wrap his arms around the cheetah from below, supporting its chest and belly with his hands. The animal sensed the support and gradually relaxed, allowing itself to be lowered safely to the ground. A moment of relief filled the savanna. The cheetah was still wary, but finally safe on solid ground. Daniel gently stroked its back, checking that its paws and claws were not injured, while the golden sun softly illuminated the scene of rescue. Daniel lowered the cheetah onto the soft grass, trying not to cause it any unnecessary pain. The animal trembled with exhaustion and fear, but still remained trustingly close to the man who had just helped it down from the tree. The golden grasses of the savanna swayed gently in the light breeze, and rays of sunlight filtered through the gaps between the acacia branches, softly illuminating the animal's spotted coat. The rescuer slowly ran his hand along the cheetah's side, checking for hidden injuries. Upon closer inspection, Daniel noticed several shallow abrasions on its shoulder and hind paw, traces of its struggle with the bark and branches. He took a small bottle of antiseptic out of his bag and carefully treated the wounds, soothing the animal with quiet words. The cheetah flinched slightly at the cool spray, but soon relaxed again, trusting the man's caring movements. A warm silence surrounded them, broken only by the rustling of leaves and distant sounds from the savannah. After finishing the treatment, the rescuer took out soft bandages and began to apply them, trying to secure the dressing so that they would not interfere with the movements of the predator's flexible body. He was careful not to pull too tightly on the delicate skin or restrict the mobility of the paws. When the last bandage was in place, Daniel paused for a moment with his hand on the cheetah's back, as if promising that everything would be all right now. The cheetah blinked and exhaled quietly, feeling safe. Early in the morning, Daniel returned to the familiar stretch of African savanna. A soft golden sun rose above the horizon, bathing the tall grasses in warm shades of amber and honey. A light breeze stirred them, creating the impression of a living sea, and somewhere in the distance, birds could be heard calling. Daniel slowly drove up to the very tree where he had rescued the cheetah a few days earlier, turned off the engine, and carefully got out of the Jeep. A bag of bandages hung over his shoulder, and his eyes were focused and slightly excited. He didn't know how the predator would behave, but he hoped that it would recognize his scent and not be afraid. A few moments later, a quiet rustle came from the bushes. A slender, spotted figure slowly emerged from the grass. The cheetah paused for a second, staring at the man, then moved forward softly and smoothly. Its supple body looked more confident, its movements calmer, although caution was still evident in its gait. Coming closer, the animal tilted its head slightly, allowed itself to touch Daniel's hand lightly with its nose, and lingered nearby, as if to show that it trusted him and was ready to accept his help. Daniel slowly crouched down next to the cheetah, which was resting peacefully on the soft grass under a spreading acacia tree. The morning sun played softly on its spotted coat, emphasizing the predator's flexibility and strength. The rescuer carefully took one of its paws and began to remove the bandages, layer by layer, freeing the healed wounds. The skin under the bandages looked healthy, and the animal's gaze was calm and attentive, as if it understood that these were the final touches of care. Daniel acted gently, stroking its shoulder soothingly to make it feel safe. When the bandages were removed, the cheetah got up, stretched, and walked around the rescuer, touching his shoulder with its head. It paused for a moment, looking at the man with a clear, grateful gaze, and then slowly headed towards the savannah, where freedom and its familiar life awaited it. Daniel remained standing under the tree, watching the spotted figure merge with the golden grasses. His face wore a warm smile and a slight sadness, joy for his restored friend, and farewell to the one he had saved. Every life saved in the wild is a reminder that human care and kindness can preserve harmony between us and the animal world. Subscribe and help us give more animals a second chance. See you next time.